Here's a sneak peek of what your Echo can do that we're going to discuss in this very episode.
Welcome back to 7 for the 63rd Highland County Maple Festival.
Oh, okay, it did. Whoa.
The final testimony, and it was dramatic, in the trial of the once prominent attorney
So
Alec
this is
Murdaugh,
ABC
accused of
News.
murdering his wife and son.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. My name is David Ward. I'm your host for the Echo Tips podcast. For our new listeners and returning listeners, well, for the new guys, we'd like to welcome. You'll find our podcasts are little nuggetized episodes, and we're changing our format a little bit there. So at the very outset of the podcast, you get a little nugget of what is in store for you learning today. So what is it that you heard earlier? We're going to be talking about news, and in particular local news, but we're going to touch on national news, news alerts and notifications, and different ways that you can get that content on your Amazon Echo so you stay informed from the outlets you want to be informed by. But before we get into that in any sort of detail, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Well, hello again. It's good to have you all back with us today. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking about news, and more news. Local news, national news, international news. There's all sorts of different ways you can get this content on your Amazon Echo. And going all the way back to episode 16 of our podcast in season 1, we talked about flash briefings on the Echo. And really, it's evolved way since then. And even back then, you could play a specific news outlet, maybe a live radio news outlet on TuneIn and things like that. And in past episodes, we've talked about maybe even streaming live news, especially maybe video content on an Echo show that has a screen. But about a week or so ago, in a newsletter, sifting through things, I saw a command that I had never seen before, and it really drew upon local news, where I could say, "Hey, lady, play local news." And I tried it and got something I had never expected to get. And even now, I can't entirely explain it, but I hope that it's available in your area, and I thought I would demo that today. And also briefly cover some of the new features under news and where you can configure those things. So first off, being here in the Roanoke Valley in the Southwest Virginia area, we have a number of news outlets, local news TV stations. And so the Echo, all on its own, best as I can tell, found the one that was pretty close to me and just played its daily content. A little nuggetized, appears to be content specifically made, kind of like flash briefings. It may even be pulling from the flash briefing material. We'll discuss that later, but let's try it right now. So first off, if you have an Echo in hearing distance of me, you may want to shut its ears off. That way I'm not tripping up your Echo at home, and you're hearing what my Echo's doing and you're hearing what your Echo's doing, and that may be a little confusing. So you do have a mute button on your Echo. You can just shut its ears off, or if you have one in the next room that might hear me, you might want to do that. Just give you a second to do that. You're welcome to pause the podcast if that helps, by the way. And hopefully I give you guys a second. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's delve right in. So, simple command. Alexa, play local news.
David, here's your news.
Uh-huh.
W.D.B.J.7 News.
It is Wednesday, and that means it is time for another Pet Talk.
Yeah,
Talk.
getting you the answers to those hard-hitting questions
Oh,
about
about
your furry friends.
puppies
I
and
believe they're outside on your hometown
kittens
patio.
and-
Yes, they are.
right.
Whatevers.
WDBJ7's Christian Johansson, and of course, some lovely friends.
Yeah, little Julie out there. Who we got out there?
Oh my gosh.
This is Colt. Julie, tell me a little bit about Colt. I was kind of surprised because I figured.
So there you go. That's local news for you. I wonder if we try to do a skip, what will happen here? Can I skip different content they've put together locally? Let's give it a try.
He's just really
Alexa,
good-natured.
Which is good.
skip.
Well, welcome back to 7 and 4, the 63rd Highland County Maple Festival.
Oh, okay, it did. Whoa.
The second and third weekend in March. This thing is so darn big, you can't slam it into one weekend. It's impossible.
It's talking about March news, so yeah, it looked like it skipped. Let's try it one more time. Alexa, skip.
There is a special winter celebration of arts and culture coming to the area this weekend. It's called Roanoke Arts Pop. You might have heard about it before.
Huh.
And we have Cindy Peterson, the executive director over at the Taubman Museum of Art, to tell us more about it. Thanks for coming on the show.
Huh, okay, well, there you go.
So this is an exciting event that people should know by now. It's been going on for the last
Alexa,
few years.
stop.
Tell us what.
Okay, well, that was genuinely really interesting. I wasn't too sure where we would go with that, especially the skip feature. But it kind of gives you some really kind of neat ideas. I wonder if it, I imagine it doesn't just cover today. If I kept saying skip, it probably goes back in time. So some of those might be older articles. So really kind of cool, though, how it just found that local content. Now, to my knowledge, I don't think I had the WDBJ7 flash briefing in there, in my flash briefing thing. And if I did, maybe that's what it's drawing its content from. But honestly, well, let me demonstrate this. Alexa, play flash briefing.
David, here's the latest from your flash brief. You're up to date on your flash briefing. Starting again from the beginning. From New Vision.
Alexa, stop. All right, so you see, it didn't even find anything from Channel 7. It didn't find anything, and I did have our own podcast in my flash briefing, which is, by the way, New Vision Tips. If you guys ever wanted to have that, but wow, yeah, that's interesting. So I don't know if there's a bug there, and maybe it is drawing from the WDBJ7 Channel News flash briefing, or if it's a totally independent service that somehow correlates, my zip code or whatever, my location, to a local news outlet that's maybe gone behind the scenes and kind of registered that way. So I don't know, but it's really interesting. I encourage you all to try. Let me know what your results are. I want to combine this with some other information here too. Watch happens if I do this. Instead of saying local news, I'll just say news. Alexa, play news. Watch this.
David, here's your news.
The final testimony, and it was dramatic, in the trial of the once prominent attorney
So
Alex
this is
Murdaugh,
ABC
accused of
News.
murdering his wife and son. Tonight, prosecutors pushing back on the defense theory
Alexa,
that there must
stop.
have been two shooters.
Okay, so very interesting. It didn't announce it really. It usually says ABC News. It's pulling from ABC National News. So that's kind of interesting too. The kind of the way the different layers to this. So if you delve into your, let me shut her ears off so that I can see her name. So if you dive into your Alexa app on your smartphone or tablet, and you go to the More button in the bottom right, and then you go to Settings, and then you scroll down this long list, you're looking for News. You would go to News, and that's where you're going to find the configuration settings for a lot of this. Now, some of it you can verbally say, like in the old days, you could add things to your flash briefing. Like you guys could say, probably A lady enable New Vision tips skill or flash briefing, and that would probably add it to your flash briefing. But on that page at the tippy top, let's start at the top, it says that basically what you want your news outlet of choice to be when you say, A lady play news, like I just did in the ABC News National came up. So that would be outlet you would choose there. And I don't know if it goes down to local or probably any outlet you decided to put on there. I don't know. And maybe even a list of outlets. That's a good question. I should have experimented with that. But the second thing down there is flash briefings. Now, that's the more traditional thing we're familiar with. It's almost like you get up every morning and you sit down and you read the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and then maybe your local newspaper. So you line up your news outlets. And this is the same concept, the flash briefing. I'm just covering this for those that are unexperienced, except it's audio content usually as a rule. Although sometimes the A lady will read it out, but obviously you're hearing it. So you can line up, ABC, Fox, CNN, and then maybe a local outlet like Channel 7. And it will play those in the sequence as you say, A lady, play my flash briefing. And it will automatically pull each one of those different outlets. You could have 10 different outlets in there every morning and play your news for the next 2 hours while you're, getting ready in the morning. And so that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a custom podcast feed of news. That's the flash briefing. But lastly, on that same page is notifications. So you can go in there and specify certain news outlets will cause your Echo to go ding ding during the day if it's something especially important that you want to know about. But in all of that, I didn't see anything about local news, A lady play local news. So I'm not too sure if that's a relatively new feature. It's not well documented, or if it's purely drawing on geography. Maybe a way to change it is change the address of your Echo and where it's based at and see what happens. But it's definitely pretty cool, and I'd love to hear y'all's feedback. Well, that brings this episode to a close. So by all means, if you'd like to reach out to me at Facebook or Twitter at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, you can let us know what you thought about the podcast, topics for future episodes. You can even reach out to info@goodwillvalleys.com, and we'd love to hear your feedback. You can even go on anchor.fm, that's anchor.fm, and even leave a voice question or topic or thing you'd like to hear more about from us. But we'd like to say thank you so much for your listenership, and we really appreciate that. It's time to turn the ears back on your Echo, start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. Let me tell you a bit more. Let me put on my official sounding voice. Ahem, ahem. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Phew! Thanks for listening.